Welcome back into another new session. So, today we are going to be starting off the third element of marketing mix, which is physical distribution or place. So, what exactly in this particular topic called physical distribution and or place? So, we have already completed the main concentration on product mix and the price mix, which we last learned in the last session. So under the product mix we learned about branding, we learned about packaging, physical packaging, labeling, and then we learned about product itself. So when we came down to a price mix, we learned about the various factors which is undermining or determining the price, demand and supply, the other factors which are affecting the price. Now, when we are learning about the place mix is not very important when it comes for your scoring of marks. Probably you will get 4 marker in this particular topic, but until now questions have not been asked. But last year there was one question which came from this particular topic. So probably they'll ask you explain the types of channels of distribution. Okay, so apart from that particular question, there's no other question that comes or has been asked from this particular topic. So we've already completed with product mix, we've completed with price mix, then today we'll complete with place mix. Exactly is your marketing mix. Marketing mix is an element of all your product, your price, your place and promotion that's put together, and it's a blend of other elements as well. So if you're talking about place, it speaks about it speaks about logistics, warehousing, transportation. What are the direct communication or indirect communication through which you are buying and selling your goods? So we already completed looking into product and price. So the third element we reached to is exactly is the meaning of your physical distribution. Physical distribution includes a lot of your direct distributors as well as your indirect distributors, your middlemen who are in between. Okay, so you have a lot of these direct distributors where the goods are reaching from the manufacturer to the consumer, and you have means through which these goods are going to reach the people. That's through transportation, through warehousing system, and through, let's say, the factory setup because transportation, warehousing and all these things are the most important ways by which you can actually transport your goods. So it adds up to your physical. What exactly is the meaning? It is concerned with making the goods and service available at the right place so that the people can purchase the same. If those goods are not available at the right place at the right time, then people cannot go ahead and purchase these particular goods. So for the goods to reach the consumer or the customer, there needs to be physical movement of goods between producers and the consumers. So for this, there is two types of channels that's called as direct channel and indirect channel, which I would come to it after the functions of physical distribution. Come to it later in the topic of physical distribution. Now, what are these channels? What are these channels, or how are these channels of distribution helping people? These channels of distribution include a lot of middlemen in between. Like your diagram that you see, it includes the wholesaler and the retailer. The producer is you who's manufacturing the products, and the consumer is the person who's literally consuming the products. So for the products to reach from the wholes producer to the consumer, they need to have middlemen in between who can help for the sale of the product to, or let's say, reach the product to the consumer. So these people are called as agents, or they're called as business institutions, or any people who are as middlemen who help the products to be reached to the consumers. So that's what the channels speaks about. So now we are moving on to the first topic of today's session, that's called as functions of marketing channels. Now, why exactly these functions should take place or plays a very important role? Now we talk about sorting, we are talking about goods, how these goods need to be sorted, arranged and kept properly, even in the warehouse, even in the transportation system, so that's well organized and you can actually take the goods, package it, and then go ahead and sell it. So there are around 7 points for the functions of marketing channels, which is very easy to break your head. Now, the first thing you call say is sorting. What exactly is this sorting? You're sorting the goods based on the quality, the quantity, the nature, the size, so that when you are selling it down to the wholesaler will definitely buy these goods in big quantity or bulk quantity. And later, what the wholesaler will do, the way you have sorted out goods, the way have you have neatly packed the goods, it's easy for him to break it up into small pieces and sell it to his retailers. So that is the meaning of sorting. Now, what exactly is accumulation? Accumulation is nothing but the goods that come to your godown or to your warehouses are goods which are coming in bulk. They are not coming in smaller quantity. So what is happening? You can very well accumulate the goods and see that the goods are of a good use. They are not getting wasted and stock is made readily. Now we talk about allocation. What is allocation? Allocation is nothing but you need to allocate your, let's say, your resources, your job or whatever it is to this particular channel. Now, how exactly it can it actually take place? You know that all these goods or whatever stock is there, it's all homogeneous in nature. Homogeneous means it's big, it is not divided. So if it has to be broken down into small parts, then it has to be graded, it has to be allocated. So there is a big procedure what we're talking about. We're not talking about small procedures here. So allocation involves breaking of the big stock. Big stock refers to big boxes of goods into smaller quantities so that it can be sold very easily. Example, cashew nuts are graded as larger quantities and are built. These are divided into convenient packs, say 1 kg, 500 grams, 200 grams, and then they are sold to different buyers. So, what are they telling? Big packages of goods need to be broken down into small portions and needs to be sold properly to the customers or the consumers. That is what is the meaning of allocation. Now, what is a sorting? A sorting is nothing but you are sorting out the goods which are good, the goods which are bad, the goods which are not marketed properly. You're dividing them, you're assorting them into different categories and combinations. So depending on that, they would do the particular job. Example, a cricket player may need a bat, he may need a ball, he may need gloves, he may need so many things. But all these things are not sold by one single manufacturer. One single manufacturer will probably sell only the bats and the let's say the ball. But don't you think so that the not all the let's say the producers produce all these kind of goods? It's mainly the middlemen who have these kind of goods. So it is our duty that we collect these goods or assort these goods and provide it to the customers so that their satisfaction is met. One is product promotion. What is this called? Product promotion. Promotion is nothing but you're advertising, you are selling, you're telling people about your product. So what is happening here? These middlemen, they help to participate in certain activities such as demonstration, special displays, context extra, so that it can increase the sales production. How is it going to increase your sales production? Because you are so enthusiastic looking at them at what they are speaking continuously. So somewhere you feel motivated to go and trust it or check it yourself. So that is the reason product promotion comes under into this particular. The sixth one is negotiation. I told you we have 7 points. The sixth one is negotiation. Who are you negotiating with? You have to negotiate with the owner and ask the owner, what kind of goods are you giving me? What kind of guarantee do I have on the goods that it would not get stale, it would not get, let's say, it would not get heated up in the run? Because with great difficulty, they are also bringing the goods and selling the same to us. So what is this negotiation? Negotiation is nothing but the negotiation, the price quality guarantee. and other related matters with customers so that the transfer of ownership is properly effected. So the last one is risk taking. What is risk taking? Every organization, every person who's working in the organization has to take risk. If there is no risk factor element in the particular business, then the business would not flourish. Then you cannot even go ahead using channels of production. So it's very important, if you're using the channels, physical distribution channels, you need to ensure that there is some amount of risk that is bared by all the members. Otherwise, no risk, no gain will take place. So, in the process of distribution of goods, the middlemen take title of the goods and thereby assume the risk on account of the price and demand fluctuations. So, what are they doing here? The middlemen are borrowing the goods, they give their own names as in which they require, and then after few days you need to follow up with them and ask them if they are written or they completed their notes, completed their things. So these are the things which you will have to be looking into consideration when you're talking about negotiating, or when you're talking about risk taking. Without taking a risk, the business cannot run for ever. So what are the risks they will take when you are, let's say, when you're talking about physical distribution? When you're talking about physical distribution, definitely the price factor is very high. Then the goods may get spoiled, they will get destructed in transit when they are getting transported, or when they are, let's say, stored in the warehouses. So these are all the risks which the manufacturer is. The next topic that we move on to is types of physical distribution. Now again, I put this slide for you so that you know that these are the points that we learned under the topic functions of marketing channels, that is assorting, allocation, product promotion, risk taking, accumulation, assorting, and negotiation. Types of distribution channel. You just have two types of distribution channel. You need to learn this diagram. If you learn this diagram, more than easy for you to learn the answer and write the answer. Don't go in depth to explaining this particular answer, because it's a very easy answer. Now there are two types of channel. You have direct channel and you have something called as indirect channel. Now what is this direct channel? Goods, this is the first one. Okay, so I'm marking it number 1 here. Then you have number 2 here, then you have number 3. So these two, this is called as direct channel and this is called as indirect channel. So these three put together are called as indirect channel. Okay, so I'll write it here as I in direct channel. Okay, and the first one is called as the direct channel, so I will write it here as D and I'll write it here as C. So what is this two types of distribution channel? The first one is direct, where once the goods are produced, directly the producer sells the goods to the consumer. That is your direct channel. But in your indirect channel, you have further subdivisions. Like example, the producer sells the goods to the retailer sells the goods to the consumer. Like example, let's say toiletry item, paper, tissues, all these soaps and all, directly producer selling it to the retailer is selling it to the consumer. But the second one is you are selling, the producer selling to the wholesaler. Let's talk about rice bags, sugars. If you're buying 25 kgs rice from any wholesale shop and all, the producer selling these goods to the wholesaler, then the wholesaler in turn sells the goods to the retailer, and the retailer will consume the goods whenever he pleases. So this is the second indirect indirect channel of physical distribution. Then the third one is you have producer, and in between producer and the wholesaler you have an agent. This particular agent fixes up prices for the particular product, and then he contacts the wholesaler and he will sell it at his price. He will not sell it at what the producer said, he will sell it at his price, and then the wholesaler will sell the goods to the retailer. So this exactly is the type of distribution of physical distribution, which is very. The same thing I have put here for you in words. Now what is this direct channel? Direct channel is also called a zero level channel or zero level. Okay, now what is the most important thing in this particular zero level channel? The most important thing is the shortest mode of distribution in direct channel. Why? Because you don't have any intermediaries in between. When you don't have any intermediaries, you can easily go ahead and sell your products to these particular consumers. Now when you're talking about indirect channel, you have three types of indirect channels. In that, the first one is manufacturer, retailer, and consumer. So what is happening here? The manufacturer is selling the goods to the retailer, and the retailer passes on the goods to the consumer. Okay, so that the goods can be consumed for final consumption. So example what they've given here is Maruti Udyog sells its cars and vans through company approved retailers. This type of distribution network enables the manufacturers to cover wide areas while retaining cover over the channel. So what is happening here? Since they have link up with one company and another company, the companies start referring them so that they can do this kind of business. Manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer. Now the here what is happening, you have a wholesaler, and between this wholesaler is buying the goods from the manufacturer, and then he is segregating, he is homogeneously breaking the goods and selling the goods to the particular retailer. So that is what is called as the second topic under indirect channel of distribution. The third one is manufacturer, agent, and wholesaler. Now, what is this manufacturer, agent, and your wholesaler? So, in case that you are using your selling, your own selling agents or brokers, so who can go ahead and help you to sell these particular products to your wholesaler, then wholesaler will ensure he is selling it to the retailer, and retailer will ensure that he is selling it to the customer. So, at the end of the day, it's like a cycle. This indirect physical distribution is like a cycle. You just need to know there's something called as one level channel, two level channel, three level channel, four level channel. So when you're talking about manufacturer, agent, wholesaler, it's something called as a four level channel, because you have three or two people in between who will run the entire show. That is from transporting the goods, from ensuring that the goods are reaching safely, there is no pilferage, there is no spoilage of goods. All this will they will ensure that they do it properly. So any agent in each major area is appointed, and these are the people who the wholesaler has to contact. Why? Because if you're coming through an agent, the agent will charge his own price. The agent will ensure that there is safety for the products, and that is the reason the manufacturer will directly contact the wholesaler. So this is the last topic in your types of physical distribution. Okay, so how is it divided? It's divided into direct and indirect. Direct is not divided into anything, but indirect is divided into further three segregations. What we have for today is factors affecting the choice of distribution channel. Now this particular interesting topic. How am I going to tell you it's interesting? Now what are the various factors that affects the choice of channel, that's distribution? Now if you talk about the product itself, see, these points are very vague and it's very easy. Product is something that affects the product, market is something that is related to the facts, then company again is related to the facts, then competitive factors, environmental factors. Now, if you see, there are 2 points that start in C here. The remaining 3 points starts with P, E, M, C square. Okay, that is one of the knack for you to learn the particular answer. So please ensure this particular answer you're marking it as a 4 marker. The first one speaks about product related factors. What is this product related factors? You know that products have been divided into two things. The first one is consumable products, and the second one is, yes, industrial products. Very good. So what exactly is consumer products? Consumer products is the products that we can consume, we can eat, and we can stay fit. Okay, but not junk I'm talking about. But if you're talking about industrial products are only for the purpose of industry. Okay, like mining industry, fish hatchery, you need equipments. Only for those particular kind of goods, this particular industrial products have been there. So when you're speaking about product related factors, you need to also say that products have been divided into industrial and consumer products. whether it is a perishable or non-perishable product, what is the unit value of the product and degree of the product, complexity of the product, all these needs to be maintained. Now, as I've told you already, industrial products refer to the goods which are sold in the industry. Then consumer products refers to the goods which are sold in the let's say in the remaining days or throughout the entire week. Okay, so consumer products are something that's very less expensive, which we can consume on a day-to-day basis. But when we are talking about industrial products, these products are expensive. Why? Because we're talking about huge plants and huge equipments. So the first important point is product related factors. Wherein the product related factors, you're speaking about industrial products and you're speaking about consumer products. Second one is company characteristics. Now, what is so important in the choice of distribution where company characteristics are coming? Now, the main purpose is that if financial strength of the company and the degree of the control it wants to hold on other channel members. Direct selling involves lot of funds to be invested in fixed assets, say for starting up his own retail outlets or engaging in large number of sales or whatever it is. You need the company to support you to do that kind of job that requires even, let's say, fund support. So indirect selling through mediatories, intermediaries is much more easier when it comes to direct selling. That is from, let's say, the wholesale, the manufacturer and the consumer. There is no intermediaries in between. So it gets little difficult for them to sell that kind of way. But when we are talking about indirect channel, it's easy for them to sell goods in this particular method. To the third one, competitive factors. What are the competitive factors? If the competitors have selected a particular channel, let's say a chemist shop, for sale of toiletry products like hair oil, and other firms may also like to select the similar channel. So, what is happening? If you go to any of your medical shops close by your house, you see that those days they were only selling this, let's say, this Cadbury small chocolates, 5 rupees or 10 rupee chocolates, or probably this Wicks and the halls. But now you can actually see everything in the medical shop, from your let's say from your nutritious powders, nutritious tonics, whatnot. You can actually see people consuming to stay fit. So what are they saying? Looking at all this, your other competitors in that particular area or locality or wherever it is, they would also learn to do this kind of things. So this will ensure that there's competition between one organization or one team and the other team. One is market factors. What exactly are we talking about in market factors? What exactly are we talking about market factors here? There are various other components which ends up affecting their channel of distribution. And because of this, the potential buyers are not able to concentrate, and because of the quantity purchased and because of the geographical concentration. Okay, so what are they saying? In case the number of buyers is small, like for most industrial products, then shorter channels are used. Industrial products are something that we all do not purchase. Industrial products refers to plants and machineries which these organizations purchase. So what are they saying? In case the number of buyers is small, like for industrial products, then short channels are used. But in case we are consuming consumable products, then the channel of communication is going to be much more greater. Let's say you will include agents, will include, let's say, wholesalers in between for this particular market factor. So environmental factors, and this is the last point. Now what are they saying? The various physical distribution channels will get affected by environmental factors, because these environmental factors, they provide us various assistance in forms of political, legal, economical, technological and social particular kind of environment. So what is happening here? what exactly is this environmental factors? There are various things which affects the internal working of the organization, like the political environment, the social environment, cultural, technology. All these are things which is affecting our business, that is our physical distribution. So what are they telling? We need to take into consideration all the environmental factors, keep all this in mind, but still ensure that we are delivering the products or we are distributing the products in a very good manner. Okay, so end of your topic. Now this is the last topic that we have, that is components of physical distribution. Now the first one we have is order processing, second one is transportation, third is warehousing and inventory control. So this, if they ask you, they would ask you for a 4 marker. Otherwise, exactly is this components of physical distribution? First one is order processing. What exactly is order processing? They are ensuring when the goods are when the goods are getting transported from the manufacturer to the wholesaler to the retailer, they are ensuring that the orders flow in a reverse direction from the customers to the manufacturers. Now how exactly is goods going to be goods, how is it going to be traded in the reverse direction is what we're going to see. A good physical distribution system should provide for an accurate and speedy processing of orders. Why are they saying this? If you do not have a system which is quite fast enough, you will not be able to do your job. So same thing in the organization. In the absence of which good workers would reach to the customers late or in wrong quantity or specification, and this would result in customer dissatisfaction with the danger or loss of business and goodwill. One is transportation. Now what exactly is transportation? What exactly is transportation? Transportation helps to transport the raw materials from one, let's say, from one state to another. So what is happening here? These goods are being transported, and based on it, the major element in the physical distribution of goods is transportation. It is important because unless the goods are physically made available, the sale cannot be completed. Why? They have to track a lot of things, they have to sort a lot of things, accumulate a lot of things, like how I was telling you previously in the previous session. So there are certain organizations which help only in the transportation of these particular products. That's called as FedEx. You have the other organizations also, DHFL. All these are people who go ahead one extra mile to ensure that the goods are reaching the customers on time. Okay, warehousing. What exactly is this word called warehousing? What exactly is warehousing? It is nothing but you are storing goods, okay, and ensuring that later you would sell the goods when the need arises. Or let's say the need is arises, you are starting to produce new batches every single week, and depending on that, you stacked up your let's say your warehouse. So the basic purpose of the warehouse activity is to arrange placement of goods and to provide facilities to store them, because the storage facility is very important. If the storage facility is missing, then it's very difficult for them to store the goods. The next one is inventory control. What exactly is inventory control? There are people who go ahead checking how many products are left over in your stock room or store, whatever it is called. Now what is the need for people to walk up there and check their stocks, or how many things are sold, how many things are taken? Because definitely they need to provide balance sheets and profit and loss statements, for which they need to have detailed account of what has happened when. So that is the reason they end up linking all their accounts to one particular single account, and any let's say any questions or any doubts they have, they ensure that everything gets sorted out. Okay, so the higher the level of inventory, higher will be the level of service to the customers, but the cost of carrying the inventory will also be high because of this kind of provisions what they've been providing. Now, if you talk about warehouses, even in the first PUC session, I've already told you you have bonded warehouses, government warehouses, private warehouses. But the only thing that you need to shell out is money. And you should ensure that your goods are kept protected, because these are government and bonded warehouses. They'll ensure that the goods are protected and kept safe. Any doubts you have? So far we completed about 3 topics in this particular session called physical distribution. Any doubts you have, please don't stay reluctant or hesitant. Please let me know, send me a comment, send me a like, so that it will help me to teach you even more better. Thank you so much.